Actually, now we have it. We've passed the parameters into that function. So if this one is done, so enter. To blink LED twice, we are going to need another loop called for loop and another variable. Let's name it int I. Once again, all these are within C++ programming, these loops. So if you have been there, like I stressed before, this one should not be strange. For I is equals to 0, I should be less than 2. I plus plus. Then what we are going to do is to turn it on and off. So we can turn it on, Control C, Control V, and then delay it for, let's say, for 1 second. 1 second should be okay with us. Control C, Control V, then turn it off. Then turn it, then delay off. Then we are done with our first if statement. Now this one will do for us what we want to do with but a switch connected to pin A, pin A0 of port A. So I'm just going to copy paste these ones, Control C, enter, Control V, enter. Now to the second if statement. It should actually now be else if, button pressed. It was on port B. Our second switch is connected to pin B. Is it pin B? Pin B6 of port B. This should make it blink 4 times. Then the third one is connected to pin C7, I think so. And this should make it blink 6 times. And else if. If you don't understand what we are doing here in terms of if statements and loops, for loop, then you need to actually just, it will only take you a day or so to to learn and understand the basics of C and C++. They are out there. They're easy to understand. Very straightforward. Let's see. I think our next switch is connected to port D, pin D4. Let me just confirm. Yeah, pin D4 of port D. And this one should actually blink it 8 times. Then, believe it or not, I think it's done. So hence, inside hence we are not going to do anything, so you can just leave it as it is. And our code is done. Now we can save and then compile. The bottom part of screen, now we have errors that we have to address. It's always okay to make mistakes at this stage because that's how we learn. Now, the first one is this one. It's saying expected this one. That's because we haven't closed our if statement in each and every single of if. So we are just going to close our if statement. You've got to close it. I didn't realize that I haven't done it, so that's why it's always very important to compile and make these such mistakes, because one mistake after another mistake, that's how we learn, and that's how we get to be sharp when actually coding. So let's save and build again. And bingo, our code is good to go, and now we can run the simulation. Now we can actually run our simulation now that our code is built and compiled successfully. So let's just run our simulation and see how it works. So we said that our first pin, which was on pin A0 of port A, is going to blink our LED twice. Now if we push it, 1, 2, again, we can do it again. 1, 2. So it's working correctly like we had it in the code. Remember, the code sometimes get to compile successfully, but when it comes to what we intended to do, it becomes incorrect. So it never means that when our code compiles successfully, everything is always correct and as intended. No. Sometimes we always have to go back and forth in the code to correct some few parameters that need to be. but in our case it's actually working correctly. So if I pressed it now, the second switch that we had was connected on port B of in pin B6 of port B. It should actually blink our LED 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's also working correctly. We can confirm. 1, 2, 3. That also is working correctly as we had it in our code. Now the next one is the switch connected to port C, pin C7, and once we get to push it, it should blink it 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That also works correctly, and the last switch, which is connected on port D, pin D4, it should blink our LED 8 times, so we can confirm that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's just confirm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now that's it. I think everything that we've done and everything that we've instructed our microcontroller to do, it has done it perfectly without any inconsistency. So we can say that this part of the projects that we've done, this very part is successful, and it's something to be happy about. And with Atmega32 microcontroller, we can do so much. These are just basics, and we are going to get into advanced parts where we get to connect wireless devices. We are going to connect. We are going to communicate. We are going to look at different modes of communication. And for now, we are just taking it one step at a time. And actually, if these video tutorials are working for you and you are already enjoying them, in our comment section you can always write something. And I also ask of you to never forget to subscribe for more videos, because there are more videos lined up. And now, this time we are only going to do it in a virtual environment, which is Proteus. And like I said before, if it works here, we are just going to lift the code into the programmer's notepad of WinAVR software, where we get to also compile it and transfer it to the physical chip. If it works here this way, this is the same way it's going to work in the real world, and we are going to do that. If need be, if you already have this software environment, you can play around with these codes. I really hope that you understand these structures of codes, these if statements and the loops. You also understand how functions work, how they are called. They are the most basic. They are basic elements of C and C++ programming. So just make a date with any modular tutorial of C and C++ in case you are floating while I was doing the if statements and the for loops. You just make some time to go through these kind of loops and if statements, and then you'll be good to go. And actually this is going to be enjoyable if you already have such kind of knowledge. So actually the next video that I'm going to do after this will be on interrupts, and I'm going to share with you what interrupts are, how we can achieve timer interrupts, and how we can actually also implement external interrupts using buttons. Then we'll move forward to communicating with the LCDs, and we have wireless devices. Like the most simple one that we can do for now is the HC06. It's a Bluetooth module, and we'll actually see with any module other than LCD. I'm actually going to do it in real world, on real life situation. So just stick around for the next videos that I'm going to do, and thank you for choosing Atmega32. It's going to work for you. Our real intention is to achieve automation at an advanced level. We're going to achieve things like smart farming and Internet of Things, and many other things that we can automate that can help us in real life. So we ought to have a foundation, and it's what we are doing. And we can only be better with every last video that I'm going to do. We can only get better with every last one of them. So with that being said, folks, I don't have so much to say. You have it now. If, like I said, if you already have these software environments installed in your computer, you can actually take this code and do some tweaking as you desire, and you can just play around with it generally and see where it gets you. And with that, I'll leave it there. And thank you for choosing Atmega32. And until next time, goodbye.